Good morning. The only thing that Ian forgot on Kelly's name was the surname. Did you notice that? How he said, I love the name Kelly, but the surname was the main one that he wanted to really emphasize, the Bentley. So, I really love that too. So my names are John Muchiri. Ian has really bragged about my CV, but that's not true. I'm a very simple guy. You asked Edward, we were having breakfast together. So that's who I am. And today I'll walk you through some of my thoughts. I was given some notes to read through, so I scribbled on my notebook as I was having breakfast with Edward today. So I will walk you through what are some of the things and some of the things that we are seeing from a trends perspective. You know, in our industry, and I want to believe all of us are in technology, maybe in one way or another, if you don't know it, you are. Joe, hi, good morning. Good to see you. We work together. I had not seen him since more than 3 weeks ago. Yeah. So some of the things that we do as Safaricom and what we are seeing from a trends perspective. Now, usually whenever you as an organization are looking at your business, you do 3 things. You will, hindsight is how your business is performing. Insight is around what you are seeing from a trends perspective. And then foresight is what you're going to do, isn't it? That's usually how we operate our businesses. So it's the same trend that we as Safaricom do. And it's from that lens that probably I'll be speaking to you. Now, one of the things that we know for sure that is a constant is change. Do we all agree? Yeah? It's change, right? So some of the things that we see from a macro level are things that affect us from a change perspective. And they affect all of us in this room. Whether we like it or not, you can fail to ignore the change that's coming. And you know, as we were told earlier on in the breakfast, you know what could happen. All right, and then you can take advantage of what we see in the change. Now, certain things, if I look back from what has happened in the world across, we all in the room, if I look across in terms of most of us, either you have read or you know about what happened to Kodak, isn't it? Okay, we all know. We all know what happened to BlackBerry. Okay, if you never used a BlackBerry, you know what happened to BlackBerry. But some of the things that happened were because they ignored certain things. So they ignored certain insights. They had the hindsight, but insights. And then based on the insights that were coming forward, they did not make the foresight or the decisions that they were going to do. Now, if I bring it closer home, and Ian earlier on said hashtag CIO da. Did he say about newspapers? Huh? So what's happening to newspapers in our day? Thank you. What's newspaper? He's asked. So the same thing that we saw from a macro or world BlackBerry and so on is happening here in our very own country. And with all due respect to my colleagues in the media industry, I mean, it's already happening. The circulation numbers of newspapers are going down as more people go to digital. Today, if I look at the newspaper, the last time I caught a newspaper, I can't remember, because most of the information when I get up, when I was here, when we were having breakfast with Edward and so on, I was looking at Twitter because that's my first source of information of what's happening. And I'm sure most of us are doing that today. So that's just a trend of what's happening in the world. And we as organizations and as people within an organization, we cannot fail to ignore that. We are all in agreement, right? Good. So I'll walk you through in terms of some, and I'll mention some statistics to you so that you keep them at the back of your mind. and then I'll walk you through some things that we are also seeing. You know, COVID for those of you who are historians, there's a guy who is called Winston Churchill. He was in the Second World War. He led the British defense against the Germans. And one of the things he said is never fail to take advantage of a crisis. That's what he said. Every crisis has a silver lining. So what has happened with COVID? It was a crisis, right? But what has happened? From a consumer perspective, your customer's perspective, what has happened? A lot of them have shifted in terms of digital. Today in the economy, you know, yesterday we were chatting with someone, Kepsa chair lady, and one of the things she mentioned, Flora, is that today in Kenya, almost everything from her handbag to the pen, notebook, shoes, everything to the hair for the ladies, you can almost get it online and have it delivered to you by a duty guy. It's true. It's true. Just think about it. But that has been exaggerated or fast-forwarded by COVID, isn't it? Because had COVID not happened, a lot of things, consumer habits, would not have changed as dramatically as they have changed. So all of us in this room would be convincing our customers the need for them to digitize or to go digital. Now, that has been assisted by COVID. And that's why I tell you, sometimes a crisis comes with a silver lining. So the question to you, as a Sacco organization or a Sacco CIO or a Sacco board member, is how am I taking advantage as a Sacco, and how are we digitizing in line with what our customer expectations are? So I'll tell you something. Some time ago, yesterday I had, you all know about Elon Musk, isn't it? Yeah? He's the richest guy on earth, right? Ian maybe will name one of his kids after him, but he's the richest guy on earth, right? Now, if you look at how radical he thinks, he's the type of person who doesn't want to do what? Put round squares, what are they called? Screws in square, in round holes. He's the type of person who looks at the opposite of every direction that we think. Last week I read an article on him about how he is now putting chips in chimpanzees. And you know what the chips do? The chips dictate the behavior of that chimpanzee. So when he wants to tell the chimpanzee, sit down, he commands English, sit down, the chimpanzee follows. When he wants to tell the chimpanzee, get angry, the chimpanzee gets angry. So it's completely taking over emotions. Can I bet with you something? If that is successful, where do you think it will go next? And remember, the chimpanzee is the closest to your human body. It's the closest animal. So where will that go next? There'll be an option for you to put it in your mind. And when you put it in your mind, then what happens next? No, I don't need to come to school and spend 5 years doing my MBA. I'll walk into a room, spend 20 minutes, download all the information I need, and I move on. So that's, from a macro level, that's what is happening. So we can't fail as organizations or circles or people who are in the digital environment or technology environment not to take advantage of what's happening in the world. In the US, you know, last year I came across this bank in the US. It's called Ali Bank. You can Google it for those of you who are in the industry. But Ali Bank is an amazing bank. You know why? They don't have one branch. One. Any member here of Sacco who doesn't have a branch, even a head office? Put up your hand. They don't have one branch. Guess what number they are in the US as a bank? Number 17. They're the 17th best bank in the US by customer service. That is what we call our net promoter score, or how customers rate you. Okay? They are number 17. In terms of asset base, I think I had that number somewhere. Yeah, $172 billion as of last year. $172 billion. How many employees do they have? 6,500. No single employee has an office. And there are 6,500 employees. Do you see what I'm talking about? The world is shifting. And it's high time all of us in the room shifted along. That bank is paperless, end to end. You apply for an account. They are one of the largest mortgage companies in the US. They have 6.5 million customers. 6.5 million customers. And no branch. No branch. But that's the statistics of what's happening in our world. So, and to help you, show you why you need to shift, and I'll give you some statistics. Keep this at the back of your mind. In Kenya, and I saw this from GSMA. GSMA are the guys who track mobile phones and so on, how many devices somebody has. So I'll ask you to write some statistics down because they are relevant to you. Internet usage, and I'll compare 4 countries. Internet usage in Kenya, South Africa, Nigeria, and Egypt. Internet usage in Kenya, it's 84%. As in 84% of our population have access to the internet. 84% of our population. And remember, Kenya has 48.9, people say 50 million, so you can put it there. But out of that, remember, 50% of that population, I think, is below 15 years. So you can see at least a certain portion of that population is access to internet. In South Africa, 94%, which is good for them. Nigeria is at 56%. Egypt is at 49%. Now, Kenya is almost close to South Africa. We are at 84%. That means we are doing a fantastic job as far as access to the internet is concerned. Now, smartphone penetration. Out of our base of customers, how many have a smartphone? Okay, like all these, most of you guys here. So in Kenya, 60%. In South Africa, 64%. Nigeria, 27%. And in Egypt, 34%. Okay? Now, I'm giving you that statistics again to show you something. In Kenya, again, we are close to who? South Africa. We are at 60%, South Africa is at 64%. That tells you guys the ingredients of almost like an industrial revolution moving is already there. And I'll tell you something. You know, for me, I'm in my 40s, almost late 40s actually. I'm in my late 40s. When I look back at home entertainment, and this is a statistics I'm giving you also. When I look back at home entertainment, when I was born and my dad and my mom were bringing me up, they used to have a thing called a VHS, you know, video cassette, that you would put in to watch a movie and so on. And it was, I think, Sony or one of those companies, all right? Now, those VHSs were produced by Sony and all those Taiwanese companies around 1964. Okay? It took them for Sony and all those to become a household name, as in my mother to have had that thing, and I'm sure most of us in this room, judging by our ages or an uncle or relative had it. It took them 25 years for that to become a household name. Remember that number, 25 years from date of production for it to become a household. That means in almost every home across the world, there will be a VHS as long as someone can afford to buy a video. Then come 1994, and what happens? Things like DVDs walk into the room. It took DVDs, and that's when also Sony migrated from VHF to DVD, for those of you who can remember. It took them 12 years, again, to become a what? A household name. Have you seen? There's 25 years. The next revolution takes them 12 years. And then, some time ago, across the world, home internet was launched. It takes the home internet, or internet, it takes them 7 years to get to 70% of the world's home users. 7 years. Can you see the time it's taking? Okay? Now, in the same space, it's completely baffling, by the way. Technology is amazing. That's why I love it. Because I think in terms of quantifying time, you will see a shift from certain timelines. So there's 25, there's 12, and there's 7 years. Okay? Remember those numbers. Now, so you need to ask yourself, as a Sacco, or as someone in the industry, what is the time it's going to take me to change? Because you have to change. We have all agreed change is constant, isn't it? Huh? We have all agreed change is constant. And it's going to be a fact. Now, I've given you some statistics around mobile penetration and smartphone devices. Now, I'll talk about 3 things that are key for you to do this. 3. And if we execute them in this room, we will, as Kelly said, we will transform and be the generation that transformed Africa. I'll talk about 3 things. The first one is around, I'll talk about skill set, tool set, and mindset. And I'll start with a skill set. Skill set is about what is the capacity, what is the ability of your team to execute. What are you doing in terms of training your people? What are you doing in terms of equipping your people with the necessary skill set to be able to take advantage of the digital revolution that's happening? I'm speaking about that based on an environment of experience. Okay? As Safaricom, obviously, we are privileged that we have had the ability to learn a lot of this stuff. But I'm asking, as a Sacco, please have that ability to train your people. And one of the things that I will request, if Safaricom, beyond Joe, could I have just the Safaricom's team standing, please? If you are from Safaricom, just stand, please, across the room. So you can see all of us, okay? Why we are all here is to walk that journey together. The thing, thank you colleagues, thank you. The thing about skill set is not your journey alone. It's not your journey alone, okay? We have ability to come and do it together with you. If you need us in the room to equip your teams, we are ready to walk that journey. Whether it's going to take us 12 months, we have professional services that we are able to do, and we can come in and be able to equip your teams. So don't shy away from asking, where do I go for that? Reach out to any of us who have stood up, and we'll walk that journey with you. The other thing I want to talk about beyond skill set is tool set. And around tool set, I'll spend a few minutes, okay? Because tool set refers to the technology. What are you doing as a Sacco to make sure that you're taking advantage of the digital revolution that's happening now. And some of these things is around the partners that you identify. It is, I mean, someone earlier on in the morning said, why they shy away from technology is that technology is expensive. Okay? But that is relevant, isn't it? We all agree. It's relevant. Because then you need to quantify against what. Okay? So, and remember that technology over time becomes cheaper as there's more adaptability. So you need to ask yourself, how are you leveraging technology? And within that, I mean, you leverage technology for different things. Maybe you want to scale. So you want to scale your business. How are you leveraging technology? Another area, and when you say scale, in terms of how you're leveraging technology, it could be areas to do with cloud. Okay? And we at Safaricom, and some of my colleagues who are here, Liquid and so on, we have fantastic cloud solutions that we can be able to engage you with. At Safaricom, we have M-Pesa in terms of scalability that can help you scale. You know, one of the things that we fail to take advantage of as Kenyans is M-Pesa. M-Pesa is our own brand, isn't it? As Kenyans, right? We are proud of it. But we sometimes fail to take advantage of it. So today we have a solution on M-Pesa, which is targeted for the financial institutions, including yourselves as Saccos, which allows a Sacco to reach more customers. So in terms of scale, it's called the M-Pesa Super App, and it's available for you. I would recommend you take advantage of that. Okay? Safaricom, we have 30 million customers, so in terms of scalability, of you as a product or as a brand, that gives you a lot of mileage. So my request is don't sit there. As long as you have identified, I want to scale, who do I reach out to? Reach out to us, and we'll walk that journey together with you. I've talked about in terms of cloud as well as M-Pesa. Then there's another, in terms of another area that you need to look at is how are you taking advantage of new opportunities? Remember, around technologies is also around new opportunities. So right now, and you all know, Google is going to open an office in Nairobi, right? So we all know, yeah? Why? You need to ask yourself, why? Why? Google is in the industry of doing what? Huh? Someone mentioned it. Data. They're in the industry of data. That's what they do. So you, as the Sacco, you need to ask, how am I taking advantage of the new trends, the new opportunities? Data is going to become the big play. So how are you taking advantage of that? In terms of things like BI, data analytics. How are you positioning yourself? Because remember, when you have data, you are then able to do certain products for your customers that the customer needs, right? Otherwise, without data, you can't tell what my product is, right? Yeah. I mean, think of TikTok, for example. Think of Facebook. What do they do best? They mine your data. I can bet Edward's Facebook landing page and mine are very different. Why? They know his profile, they know my profile. All right? So what are they doing? Data mining. That's what they are doing, guys. So it's high time, even us as organizations inside this room, take advantage of that in terms of data analytics. And Safaricom is fantastically squared as your partner to help you do that. Because remember, beyond M-Pesa, we can be able to develop solutions for you that will help you take advantage of that opportunity to address customer changing behaviors. I know I'm taking beyond my time probably. Allow me, I'll be done in another few minutes. Another area I need to ask you is in terms of changing customer habits, which I have mentioned to you. And my third point around tool set and how you're taking advantage of technology. Today, every Sacco, we were in a Sacco forum, I think in December in Mount Kenya, and then we did another one in Kisumu, January. Guess the biggest challenge in the room? Huh? Guess? Cyber. Yes, I know that's the thought on your mind. Cyber attack. That was the biggest discussion in the room. Because last year, quite a number of Saccos were hacked. Okay? And it's a fact. We sometimes put those things under the cover because we don't want to shout that we were hacked, because we are afraid that we might lose customer deposits and we will appear like we are not securing their environment. But it's a fact. So you need to ask yourself, how am I securing my business? How am I securing my business? And that's something that we as Safaricom are happy and open to discuss with you. From doing basic things like vulnerability testing in your environment, we can do that. To all managed SOC, where we allow you to just do your basic financial services, and we manage the entire environment end to end. So one of the things we need to ask ourselves, even if you, as you sit in this room, think through the things I'm asking and I'm telling you, and ask yourself, how am I taking advantage? Even for those of you with mobile banking, we have IMSI solution that allows that someone cannot do a SIM swap before you know, usually when people are hacking, they will do the SIM swap first. So that is a solution that addresses that. So speak to us, because then that helps you be able to be ready for the digital revolution. Now, as I can see Ian is there. As I finish, remember this, guys. And I'm going to ask us to just lift one hand, just like this. Just like this. No, in an angle like this. Like this. Yeah. That's an uphill. That is uphill, okay? Lift your hand like an uphill. Okay? Remember, thank you. Why I've asked you to do that is so that you remember in your mind. Nobody in this world, even Elon Musk, has ever slided to success. Nobody. Nobody has ever slided to success. Success is uphill. It's effort, sweat, hard work. Do we all agree? Please remember that. So even as we come to you as Safaricom, nothing is going to be easy. We will need to work with it together to address the opportunities we see, make sure that you are able to take advantage, secure your environments to protect yourselves and your customers, as well as be able to scale as an organization. And with that, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.